If you've turned on the news recently, you've probably heard somebody complaining about data centers. They're taking farmland, they're using too much water, they're consuming enormous amounts of electricity, they're getting tax incentives. They don't create enough jobs. And in some communities around the US, people are actively fighting to keep them out. But here's my question. How many of those same people use Google today? How many streamed Netflix last night? How many check their bank account online? How many use Facebook? How many have tried ChatGPT? All of those things depend on data centers. In fact, nearly every aspect of modern life depends on data centers. And that's what makes this debate so fascinating. Everybody wants the benefits, no one wants the building. So let's start with the simple truth. The cloud is not the cloud is a warehouse. A giant warehouse filled with computers. Every email you send, every credit card transaction, every photo stored on your phone, every online medical record, every Zoom call, every AI request. All of it runs through a data center somewhere. In many ways, data centers have become the railroads, the highways, and the power plants of the digital age. Now here's where things get interesting. For years, data centers quietly powered the internet. Then artificial intelligence arrived, and suddenly computing power became the most valuable resource in the world. Think about what's happening right now. The United States and China are engaged in a technological race that could shape the next several decades. Artificial intelligence will influence healthcare, defense, manufacturing, education, logistics, financial services, and countless other industries. And AI requires one thing above all else: computing power. And computing power requires data centers, lots of them. So when people say, why are we building all these data centers? The answer is simple: because the future runs on them. Now let's talk about the criticisms, because some of them are absolutely valid. First, electricity. Many of the newest data centers consume enough electricity to power a small city. It's not an exaggeration. And yes, that raises legitimate questions. Will my electric bills increase? Can our grid handle it? Who's paying for the infrastructure? Those are all fair concerns. But here's the part that no one talks about. If America doesn't build the infrastructure needed to support AI, someone else will. The world is not going to stop advancing because we chose not to participate. Second, water usage. And again, the concern is real. These facilities generate enormous heat and require cooling. In some regions, that can place pressure on the local water resources. That's a challenge that needs to be addressed. But it's also worth remembering that nearly every major industry uses resources. Factories do, agriculture does, power plants do. The question isn't whether the resources are used, the question is whether the economic benefit justifies the cost. Third is jobs. This one may surprise some people. A massive data center may employ fewer people than a traditional manufacturing facility, and critics point to that fact all the time. But I think they're asking the wrong questions. The value of a railroad wasn't the number of people working on the train. The value of a highway isn't the number of people maintaining it, it's the economic activity that flows across it. Data centers are similar. They aren't just creating jobs inside the building, they're enabling entirely new industries outside the building. And that distinction matters. Now let's address the questions investors should be asking. Is this another technology bubble? Maybe, probably. You can refer to one of our previous videos. We know some companies will absolutely overbuild, some projects will fail, some investments will disappoint. History tells us that's almost guaranteed. The railroad boom had losers, the automobile boom had losers, the internet boom had losers. But the technologies themselves changed the world. That's the lesson. So the question isn't whether data centers will matter, the question is who will benefit the most from them. Because one thing seems increasingly clear: data centers are not a temporary trend. They're becoming essential infrastructure. The way highways powered commerce in the 20th century, data centers will power the economy of the 21st century. So here's my takeaway. The concerns about electricity, water use, land use, and local impact, they're real. They deserve serious discussion. But let's not confuse this creates challenges with this shouldn't happen. America has never advanced by refusing to build infrastructure. We built railroads, we built highways, we built airports, we built power grids. And now we're building the digital infrastructure that will support artificial intelligence and the next generation of economic growth. The next time you hear someone complain about a data center, ask them a simple question. Would you be willing to give up your internet, your smartphone, your online banking, your streaming services, your artificial intelligence? Because that's the trade-off. Everyone wants the benefits of the digital economy, and data centers are the price of admission. And whether we like it or not, they're becoming one of the most important investments America is making in its future.